Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing another rec review, and this time we're going to be taking a look at Hold Fast, who's currently at 1100 ELO, and we're going to be checking out this game. He's going to be playing in red as the Georgians, and his opponent is going to be the Magyars. So let's go ahead and check this out, and as always we'll kind of go through a little bit the Dark Age, but at 1100 ELO I could expect to see one or two mistakes in the Dark Age that we'll try to help fix, so we'll definitely try to correct that in this video. And we'll keep an eye on what he could be doing better. You guys have been really enjoying the rec review, by the way. Rec reviews in general. There's a core part of my audience that really looks forward to them, and I really appreciate you guys for that. And last thing I want to say is that you guys are asking for higher level rec reviews. Keep in mind, I only do the ones that come in. All right, so the ones that come in, I review them. If some higher level player wants to send in recs, then I will review those recs. Okay, it's just a service I offer, and I'm sharing my analysis with you guys on YouTube for you to benefit. But nonetheless, there's always a little bit to benefit. Even if this guy is lower ELO than you or higher ELO than you, there's always something to benefit, because again, I am higher ELO than all of you. So I'll always drop a few things here and there that everyone can benefit from. A nice little humble flex there, of course. Not so humble, but that's how we do things around. Anyways, let's go up into the rack. Starting has been pretty decent. We're using the mule cart to scout. Mule cart can be a bit closer, but otherwise not a big deal. I like that the house is part of the wall already, so this feels like a pretty good start. We're at no idle TC time as well. Looking solid so far. It goes to the berries. Okay, it goes to the mill. Wait, tried luring deer, then failed. Okay. So I guess like you tried, and then it gave you some problems and you just didn't go for it. That's fine. I don't mind that. In the future, though, if you're not ready to lure deer, just don't bother with it, because right there you wasted some time. There's no shame in just going to scout right away. It's actually kind of nice, especially with Georgians. It's a little bit cheesy, but you can go scout and like hit a villager, because when Feudal Age comes, as long as you don't lose your scout, you can just heal back all your HP. So you can actually do some pretty decent cheesing with Georgians instead of luring deer. But otherwise, your start looks actually really clean. Scouting is solid. Let's see the uptime. We're queuing another vill. Okay, you could have already clicked up now if you wanted to, just lumen up. But we're gonna go for a no loom 19 pop. Okay, perfect, very nice. This is our first mistake. Dark Age was super clean, but we had to mess it up. Start a Feudal Age here. Way too many vills to wood. 12 vills, 1 mule cart is not what you need at all. What you want to have. You did something right. You sent them right away, which is good. You want to have 8 on wood. I don't know if you're a Patreon member or Twitch sub, but I have this in the build order for Georgians. I have this exact build there. It's 8 to wood on the mule cart. Now, if you do 8 to wood, you'll need a little bit more wood. What we do is we put 1 or 2 on stragglers as well to get a little bit more wood to afford the barracks and stable. But by putting 12 here, unless you change this later, you will start floating wood in like 4 minutes. 100%, okay? So keep an eye on that. Again, magic number is 8 for 1 lumber camp or 1 mule cart. That way they don't bump on each other. It's efficient, and it's all you need. So already a couple guys bumping, having to go around. It's already looking a little bit sloppy. And now take a look at this. You don't have enough food to like sustain scout production. But let's take a look at your scouting of your opponent's base. So you found your opponent. Now what you can do is do a loop around your opponent's base to find all of his resources. Very good. Yeah, don't worry about scout HP loss, because we can heal that back up. Definitely want to do a loop here, all right? Loop around just to find all his res, and just to know how his map looks like. It's the number one scouting tip I can give you is to do exactly that, guys. All right, so we're gonna go barracks, and then we can go for the stable. And already the ratio of wood to food is off. Like already we have way too much wood and not enough food, to the point where now we can barely afford villager production. So this was a huge mistake. This is why I needed a few extra on sheep. And then you can already start seeding a couple farms or sending to berries. So how to fix this is to send right now 3 from wood and send them to berries, and you do just that. Actually well done. Good job. You realized you made a mistake or whatnot, and you fixed it, which is great. Mule cart can move closer, by the way. Definitely keep that in mind. Another small mistake. We made the stable. At this point, you want to start walling up your base 100%. Unless you're planning on staying fully open, in which case that's completely fine. But if you plan to wall, one of the villas at least should be making houses right next to the stable down to where you can wall. And usually I recommend 2, 1 on each side. So one would go here, start walling this side, and one would start walling this side. That way, within 5 minutes, you're fully walled. I have a video on YouTube only on how to set up your base. If you guys are interested, you can check that out. If you can't find it, ask in the comments. Someone will help you out. So that's how you set up your base, and you need to do that because you need to, obviously make houses. And already here we have a pretty decent economy collapse. We don't have horse collar. We're late on the farms, so now we can't afford scouts and we can't afford villagers. So you actually just went ahead and made a stable just to say, Hera, look at me, I made a stable. Nothing's coming out of the stable. You have only one scout. You haven't made a single spear. And that's only because you had the 200 wood in the bank. If this 200 wood was 200 food, or at least 150 food, you'd be able to afford 2 scouts, which is what we expect from a scout rush, minimum 2-3 scouts, okay? So it's all about floating that wood early. Now your mentality should be farm, farm, farm. You go for a range. I don't think there's a justification for the range because we still haven't made a single scout. We're only making our first one right now. So making the range at this moment is spreading ourselves way too thin, okay? And this is the very common mistake. Before you watch this, all right, I see a lot of comments. They watch this and they say, I'm 900 ELO and I play 3 times as good as this guy. No, you don't. You guys make the exact same mistakes, all right? No excuses across the board. I've seen this mistake happen. This range, we'll pause a little bit because there's some fighting going on. This range should have been 3 more farms, guaranteed. Because these 7 farms are not able to sustain anything beyond TC production. It doesn't help you make scouts. It doesn't help you get fletching. And it not even close to helps you get the castlage. So that range is coming in way too early. Even if you want to go scouts into archers, you at least need to set up your stable production, which requires at least 12 farms, 6 for the TC and 6 for the stable. All right, and we're not there yet. So you can say, oh, berries are there, but once the berries runs out, then you're gonna have a huge economic collapse if you don't get your 12 farms. Okay. So again, way too early to gold, not making the scouts in time, and this leads to a lackluster attack. If you had 4 scouts in this fight, you would kill all the villagers and kill the enemy scout. Since we only had 2, we take a 1-for-1 trade. Meaning that we are not getting as much value as we could only because we messed up our builder. And by the way, I'd be yelling at your opponent. He has only 4 farms, so there's mistakes on both sides. Let me just reset this a little bit. There's mistakes on both sides, which is to be expected at this ELO bracket. 1100, you guys are having a pretty good Dark Age. Pretty good idea of what you want to do, but execution feudal onwards definitely slips a little bit. So now, okay, we have some auto TC. What's the plan? We're going to go for... So making a few scouts, made the range, still haven't used it. Okay, now we're not going to make an archer. So scouts into archers was the plan. Okay. Again, not a bad idea. Like, your ideas have been pretty good so far. It's just the execution that's been lackluster. But hopefully my explanation to things would make it make sense for the future. Like, it's just order of operations. This game is basically a logic game that's mixed in with math, right? Now look, you're going to make these farms. All I said was make the farms first and make the gold later. And then you have constant scout production. That's all I said. So it's the same idea you had. It's you're not stupid. You're not like missing some strategy elements. Same idea you had, just a different operation, better execution, and you're actually playing a very solid and aggressive opening here, which I appreciate and I respect. So we're gonna go for the archers now. Gonna start walling. Again, those walls definitely solid. Good timing on them. Could have been done on this side with the stable as well. Would have loved to see wall with 1 vill. Walling with 1 vill here is absolutely perfect. Huge fan of that. So now we're gonna continue pressuring with spearmen and scouts. Looking like a decent engagement actually. Perfect. You got more scout HP and you can back off. That's somewhat considered worth it, by the way, despite us losing a spear. It's okay. Just side note, your opponent is late on seeding farms. He was floating some woods, so he would be later to castlage. Couldn't help but notice. Now I'd be making some archers. Okay. So overall, things are looking pretty good. But the scout into archer build, it's a little bit... I think you have the wrong idea of what you want to do with it. Okay. I'll actually pause, and I think you guys told me pausing is the best part, so I'll pause. I'll take my time with this. All right. With scouts to archers, there's 2 goals you're gonna do, and you're gonna use, and exactly 2 goals. Okay, that you can't do half of one and half of the other. You either have to pick between 2 things. Number 1, you go scouts and archers, and you put heavy feudal H pressure. In that case, you don't stop making scouts. Second option is you go scouts, then you full wall, and then you switch to archers with the intention of playing crossbow, not with attacking with the archers and feudal. So you attack only in castlage or on the way up to castlage. All right. Those are the only 2 scouts into archer scenario where you're attacking with the strategy. Sometimes you need archers on defense. It's a totally different situation. But as far as an offensive scouts into archer setup, there's 2 options. Either scouts into archers feudal pressure, in which case we don't start making scouts, or scouts into archers where we aim for castlage. In that case, we don't go for the range early. We go for the farms early. Then we full wall. Then we make 2 ranges, switch to archers on the way up to Castle Age or just before clicking Castle Age, okay? Since in this case, you made the range early, it's very clear you want to go Feudal Pressure. You do not stop making scouts. There is no justification to stopping the scout production. Archers and scouts is some of the strongest units in Feudal. When combined together, they're basically like the best, if not one of the best compositions at the moment. So what you want to do with this excess food, instead of saving it, like, you know, unless your brother is hungry, you can give him a burger later. That's not what this 250 food is going to be used for. That needs to be sunk into scouts right now because you have high potential of dealing damage when you combine scouts with archers. What could happen here, I've never seen this wreck, but what could happen here is because we're not making scouts, number one, we're actually prone to a counterattack, and number two, if he fights us head on, he actually might win the fight on just pure scouts, okay? Very important. By going archers, we nullify the spear, defense, but we don't nullify his pure scout defense. That's why we have to keep up our own scout production. So now he counterattacks us. Unlucky. Kills our Blacksmithville. It happens. If we continued making scouts, we'd actually be in a position to defend this. By attacking with a few archers here, it's a decent attack, but we leave ourselves exposed at home, which could definitely be problematic. Okay, thank God we're playing at 1100 ELO though. They're running the scouts into the town center. This is key. This is absolutely key. This is why people are hard stuck 1100, 1200. Not our opponent driven by demo. He's not hard stuck for running into the TC. If anything, the hard stuck that happens is because Holdfast made a huge mistake of not making scouts, but because his opponent made an even bigger mistake of running a scout into the town center, Holdfast doesn't know how big of a mistake he made. If this were 5 of my scouts coming into your base, you will not want to play another game of Age of Empires in your life, right? This is what I'm talking about. You don't even realize how big the mistake you made, and this is why people don't learn from the games. This is why getting someone to review it is so good. Those 5 scouts should have killed 4, 5, 6 vills at the woodline minimum. So that was a huge mistake that we lucked out. We got lucky and he ran into our town center, not once, but twice, okay? So all this to say is when you go out with your army, always make sure you're making army on defense as reinforcement. Couple spears, keep massing archers, keep massing scouts. Don't just blindly save when you're not fully walled. If you're not fully walled, you can't just blindly save the castle. It's just not going to work, okay? And I see this time and time again. This is, in my opinion, you can argue with me if you think I'm wrong in the comments. In my opinion, I've played a lot of other games. The number one reason for being hard stuck is that you don't know your mistakes and you don't know how to correct them. 2 things. And in a lot of cases, you don't know you're making a mistake because your opponent makes an even bigger mistake. Now, on to the positives now. Amazing moves with the scouts and archers. Went aggressive, scouts and archers together. Fantastic. We got so much damage done. And back home, beautifully done. We're fighting with villagers. Excellent. We lost 1 vill. Doesn't matter. We'll bury him. We'll cry for a day. We move on. We don't care. What I don't want to see, and just for people watching at home, I don't want to see you pull back the wood line and have all this idle time. Do like Holdfast, fight back with vills. If one dies, we don't even know his name. It's not a big deal. We move on. It's just a game, and that's it. Vill's back to work. He lost his scouts. This is excellent defense, and now we can continue attacking. So this is a great start for us so far, and I'm getting optimistic about us winning the game now. Great job being aggressive with the archers as well. Coming around. You know blue just lost his army, so you're going to continue attacking. Very good. And it's become very clear to me right now that you don't actually care about these archers because you don't plan to upgrade them. So you're playing aggressive with them because you're cool with losing them. Again, hold fast. This is not an intellectual thing. You're playing some smart strategy right now, honestly. You're playing some smart strategy. This is really good. I'm really impressed, to be honest. Really impressed by what you're going for here. It makes a lot of sense, you know? It makes a lot of sense. Good. And yeah, as we mentioned, you don't care if you lose his archers. You got some value. Run away with the scouts. Perfect. Next step. Let's talk about Castle Age. All right. There we go. We're going to click up the Castle Age. Now we're going to start walling this. Again, you'd wish this was walled from earlier. We could have started walling that right after making the stable with 1 vill. It doesn't hurt you. But nonetheless, we're going to wall it now, which is the correct time. So now, after we lose our army, we know our opponent is going to counterattack us, all right? So now is the time to prepare defense, and I already see you making more spears, which is great. Now is also the time to plan out our Castle Age transition. So what will you go for? You're going to go Knights, perfect. Second stable. All of this is actually done very good. We walled this entire right side, so I would, patrol some spears here and get this walled. I can see that there's a sense of urgency from you here. which once again, it shows that you're thinking. You're using your brain, you know your opponent's attacking you, and you're prepared to defend. Kudos to you, my brother. Well done. Perfect. Okay? As much as I call out the wrong, call out the good. That was good. Ooh, he broke in. Those are Magyar Scouts. This happened to me before. Those Magyar Scouts and Hindustani, they break walls fast. You got the spears to defend, so we should be somewhat okay. That's a good move from the enemy. I don't blame you for being slow there. Happened to me in the past. And now the reaction should be to run away now. We can't fight these guys. They have bloodlines and armor and attack. So yeah, we just gotta run away. Concede our losses and bring the spearmen. Now, whenever you get attacked like this is completely fine. Don't panic, all right? And don't kick yourself for it. What you want to do now is make army right away to clear this up, okay? So you're almost castled, so a couple knights right away, all right? Oh, yeah, you're doing the wrong order of operations again. Let's see. Let's count the time. How long it's gonna take you to make a knight right now? Okay, let's see. So we still don't have a knight. So it's been like 30 seconds. We're gonna go for the town center. We don't have a knight. We don't have a knight. We're gonna go for. We don't have a lot of resources. We're gonna go for stone. We still don't have a knight. We still don't have a knight. Opponent's castle age. And there we go. One knight. When did we hit castle age? It took you a minute to make a knight. All right? It shouldn't even take you a second to make a knight. This is the order of operations to defending aggression. Step number 1, get units to defend. That's step number 1, 100%, okay? Or actually, step 1 is get vills out of the way, like immediate danger. And step 2 right away, which you did, like you ran the vills away. Step 2 is get army right away to the scene. Okay, either make army or pull army back. The reason we have to do this, and I'm being very serious about it now, is because if you don't get the knights out right away, what's going to happen is you're going to do all these little reactions like quick wall. You're going to fail at half the time or 90% of the time, or you're going to do like, pull vills. And every single time you pull vills, you're always losing 1 or 2. So if you don't deal with the problem, which is having your opponent has scouts in your base, if you don't deal with the problem, you're always going to be doing damage control. But damage control is always us taking a bit of damage at the same time, okay? So a knight comes out in like 30 seconds. Had you just gotten a knight out early, he would have done damage here, done damage there, but then the knight is out. Because we took so long, now he's getting a 3rd hit of damage. And our vills are going to be idle for even longer, okay? So it's very important that when you're about to take damage, you get the immediate vills out of danger, and then right away you bring in army. We're going to bring in the knights. We took way too much damage to those few scouts. We're actually down to 29 vills. It went from a completely winning position to a completely losing position. Just from a few scouts here. And I don't blame you for them breaking in. Again, you probably should have gotten the houses earlier. That's okay. It's a mistake that happens to everyone. It's about how we deal with it. That's the difference. Okay, now disaster happened. How do we work from here? We don't cry about the past. Leave that to me. Let's go ahead and start making some farms and getting our economy back on track, okay? So yeah, now that the knights are out, yeah, these scouts, you're destroying them. Very good. So we just wanted that a little bit earlier, okay? Remember that order of operations, okay? Step 1, remove vills from danger. Step 2, get army, to clear out the danger. And then step 3, reset economy. 3-step procedure to deal with raids. And you can watch my games. I do it all the time in the same order. And if I don't, then I made a mistake. Simple as that. All right, so now we're trying to get now we're in step 3, trying to get our army back, our economy back in order. The way to do that is to get back on the farms that we abandoned, start seeding a few more farms so we can stabilize 2 TC production. And hey, adding a 3rd TC is all good. And I guess step 4 is after we get raided, we want to try to either attack or stabilize. So either defend with our army or attack with our army as well. So now I'm going to plug the hole with a church. Ooh, actually, that's really bad. Georgian churches should be near your economy. So a Georgian church here would be way better than there. Remember, the Georgian church, it gives you, I think it's plus 10% or plus 8% working, extra or faster working for your villagers. I think it's plus 8%. So you definitely want to make that closer to your villas for sure. Yep. Okay, so our opponent's going to be booming as well. We don't necessarily know that. We're just getting a few knights out ourselves and starting to develop our economy. Cool. So, if we're in economy developing mode, I want to see that wood being spent. Farms right away. Excellent stuff. Good. Good. Actually, I'll say it again. I'm really impressed by some of the ideas you have. You clearly understand the concepts. But I think most of the mistakes come out either like preemptively you're not doing things like it preemptively, or you're not doing things in the right order, or you're like panicking. But when you have time to think, you're actually making good decisions. Like you're picking up relics now, which is great. You're booming very effectively. BTCs, spending your resources like crazy. That's very good. Opponent's actually floating a lot more in comparison. And it looks like we're getting a little bit of action as well. This tends to happen a lot in mid-elo. So he's got a lot of army, but he's just camping it. I don't know why you guys do that, but I've seen it happen a lot. I think you guys might be scared of getting attacked or something. But what you guys should do is attack with your main army and defend with reinforcements. But for some reason, you guys just tend to keep all your army defending. Which is why you're able to get away with just pure booming like this, even though he's got 18 knights. What should happen is he just sends the 18 knights, kills the stable blacksmith, and just breaks in. But okay, he's going to attack us now. He gave us a good 5 minutes breather. And hopefully we can defend with this church. Brilliant stuff. Good defense. Ooh, and a conversion. All right. Now we're going to switch to pikes, which makes a lot of sense. We're up against Magyars, massing a lot of knights. Pikes is the natural and logical transition. I like it. I like that you also transition to pikes after 3TC boom. That's the right way to do it. And now we start making the pikemen. Okay, perfect. This is all good. Fast forward a little bit. Pushing him back with monks is fantastic, by the way. It's exactly what you should be doing. Oh, okay, and he breaks in. All right, so he breaks in and takes the fight. This is subpar for sure. But we have the infrastructure to defend this. Ideally, run more pikes instead of queuing this many, but it's okay. We have the infrastructure to defend this. All we have to do here is the same step as last time. Pull immediate vills out of the danger, mass up the army that can deal with it, and then deal with it, okay? Wasting those few pikes, I think, is not the right call. You want to really mass them up to the point where you can actually take a fight. Because by wasting a few like this, then you're actually taking longer to where you can get to the critical mass. And it's looking worse and worse now because he's just running around our base. And he's getting a lot of value. So we got to clear this ASAP. But I like that you got 3 barrack production. Again, it could be more, but I can see the panic. A lot of pikes being queued and only 3 barracks. Opponent has a lot of res left over. Oh my god, he needs to spend that. We're taking more damage. And good. Okay, we clear it up. We clear it up. Eventually, we clear it up. Now we go back to making our economy, okay? At this point, it's looking rough, okay? At this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if we're just completely dead because we took a lot of damage. The scouts, then the knights. But the way to come back, the best thing we can do is to continue setting up our economy, get back into like the 3TC boom production, and then just try to get onto a decent composition in the mid-late game. It's the best thing we can do. We're on pikes now, which is good. Down patrol from the opponent, damn. You got that much res, eh? Yeah, try to get to a decent composition. We're going to play towards Manaspa, which is really good. So Pike Manaspa, a good composition. That's a good area to play for. And we can maybe play towards Imperial later. Here. Now, moving out with these pikes might be considered very risky. I like it. We need to take some risk now because we're so far behind. So when we're behind, I'm a huge fan of taking risks. So the fact that you moved out, it's good. Puts pressure on the opponent. You don't know if he makes a mistake. In this case, we didn't get much value. But I still like that he tried that because we might as well. Now it's university. We can probably fast forward because there's a lot of stalling. This is like the defining factor of this bracket of play. And a bit, I would say 1200 and below, there's a lot of stalling. Like a lot of stalling. Like blue is just in a position where he can roll you, by the way, and he just doesn't know it, so he just stalls it out. He's getting the eco upgrade. But he should just get Cavalier and just steamroll, you know, with the Imperial Age advantage. But he gives you time. We're not going to complain. He gives us time. Are we going to win with Halberdier here? We're going to get Light Cav. Good. Let me see. Are you setting up more churches? Okay, so I think you clearly don't know about the Georgian church bonus. Georgian churches should be sprinkled around your base, okay? They are that good. They should be sprinkled around your base. It would be really good. Alright, so now as far as compositions go, I would like you to play towards Halb Manaspa, probably. 1 gold unit, 1 trash unit, and Manaspa is absolutely broken right now, so you might as well go for it. But we start with getting our main unit upgrades first. So, like, because our main unit at the moment is the Halberdier, let's get the Halberdier upgrades first, 100%. Okay? So your first tech, you're getting, like, Cav tech. Your first tech should be Halb tech, 100%. All right, let's see the halberdier tech. Good. We finish upgrading the main unit, the one we have on the field. It doesn't matter if it's a trash unit, by the way. If your main unit, the one you have on the field, is a trash unit, it's still your main unit. So at the moment, we fully upgrade the halberdier, and then we can talk about a transition later. You're going light cav as your secondary unit. Not bad for raiding, but I think you definitely want a gold unit at some point. Well, let's see how the halbs perform. Right now, all we need is halb. Our opponent's on pure cav. And he's gonna run in. No problem. No problem. This is actually completely fine. You chase him with the halbs. More barracks, by the way, probably. We've been on only 3 for a long time. Like, think of it logically. At 50 villagers, you were able to afford 3 barrack pike production. Now you're at 90 vills. How much can you afford? At least 6 barracks, one would think, right? Double the vills, double the production. So we can easily afford 6 barracks here, and we wouldn't even, be straining ourselves. So definitely scale up the production as you scale up your vills. And this is huge. We can actually win. Our opponent is losing a lot of cavalry. Same concepts as last time. Immediate vills out of the danger. Good. Garrison them. Bring the army to defend. Clear it up. And then get back to work. I don't mean to make Age of Empires sound like it's a routine, or it sounds like it's like a... it's not like it's like a checklist of things, but it's a good thinking method to use, especially when trying to get better at this game. Because the game gets more fun when you don't get raided, right? Nobody likes to get raided like this. So by putting effective systems to stop us from getting raided, you actually have more fun with the game, like 100%. All right, we're gonna be pushing out with halberdier. This is a good trade. In fact, a great trade. We win the fight, and we push out. Mule cart's getting shot at. So funny. All right. Opponent has a lot of res. And okay, we call it the GG. Okay. Honestly, respectable attempt to try to get back into the game. You did a decent job, but we ended up losing the game. But that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so just to recap here, and for those watching, I think this game taught us a lot about how to defend and how to prevent raids. But it also taught us a lot about how to use our timings. And we learned this a little bit more from our opponent's perspective rather than ours. So, first of all, nice job with the aggression here. We already talked about that. But right here, we actually got the Castle Age first, right? And this should have been our key time to actually deal damage. But because we were so late to use our Castle Age, we ended up taking so much more damage from the scouts. This was, in my opinion, the key moment of the game. So whenever you hit a new timing, guys, go, go, go. Same thing, our opponent also made a very similar mistake. Like, our opponent at some point hits Imperial Age, right? Yeah, around here. He hits Imperial Age and he's just camping. If this was me, it's like we sell the food, get Cavalier, get +4, and just steamroll because the other guy's in Castle Age. Whenever you hit the next stage and you're faster, that is when you put the pressure, 100%. So rush to get your Castle Age tech, and rush to get your Castle Age units, whether it's on defense or whether it's on offense. If there's one thing to take away from this wreck, it's that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys had a good time with this wreck. And if you guys did enjoy it on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hold fast. I hope you find this very useful for you. We have one more that he sent in. Hold fast sent in 2. So we got one more. I'll do that in another video. Hopefully you guys check that out. Like, comment, subscribe if you guys did enjoy it on YouTube. And if you guys want to take part in these rec reviews, I offer the service through Patreon. If you guys want to check that out, or you can just message me. We do it under the table. No worries. Yeah, you get a review like this for your own game. Here's the stats. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good rest of your day. Peace.